It has been a night for Auburn football. 192 total yards to 131 for the Florida Gators, who came into this game 11th in the country in total offense, and they have been throttled.
Well, they've been throttled because Auburn has done a great job of just allowing them to catch it underneath, making tackles in space, tackling the ball carriers. They've not allowed a single play of over 20 yards in the first half, and that is something that Florida has not been accustomed to so far this season.
Last time the Gators shut out at halftime, it hasn't been since '92. They came back to win that game, however. And Auburn taking the second half kickoff, and they got it out near the 35-yard line. We mentioned at the beginning of the ball game that Auburn convinced they should be 4-0 at this point. But Bill Parcells always says you are what your record says you are, 2-2. But they have not made the big mistakes tonight, and that's why they've got the lead.
They're on schedule right now, and they have a great chance to hang on and win this game, but they've got to stay on schedule. They've got to continue to win turnovers, which they've done. They've got to win the special teams, which they've done so far. And they've got to, Brandon Cox has to stay hot. I mean, he may not, be as hot as he was that first half, but he's got to keep managing the game, making good decisions with the ball, run it just enough to keep that play action effective. And then their defense, the way they played in that first half, they've got to be feeling very, very good about how they match up with Tim Tebow and this Florida offense.
Yeah, they were sensational, but Auburn is backed up after a block in the back on the return. So the Gators will be in good shape as far as that is concerned.
Tony Joyner, number 19, is trying to get this crowd in it for his defense. He's the emotional, the heart and soul leader of this defense, trying to get the crowd behind the defense.
Tate will be the running back behind Brandon Cox, who was almost letter perfect in the first half. Tate, they string him out. He's taken down at the 7. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, I caught up with Auburn coach Tommy Tuberville running out of the tunnel. He was about as intense and fired up as I've ever seen him. I asked him about going for it on that 4th down play. He said, Holly, we didn't come down here to lose. We came down here to win. We're not going to mess around out here. Now, of course, there's 30 minutes left to play, guys, but they've won 12 of their last 13 SEC road games. It's got to be something to his fire.
And Holly, they've also won 12 straight games wearing all white. If you're looking for omens, there's one. Cox from the end zone, batted down. Brandon Spikes, number 51, the middle linebacker, came in and smacked it.
And I think what Florida is going to do in this second half, and they're showing it right now, is they feel like they're going to have to pressure Brandon Cox. They've got to disrupt his rhythm and his timing. Now, it's easier to do in this part of the field with the crowd as much of a factor as they appear to be right now, but they allowed him to get on rhythm and on course too easily in that first half. They've got to disrupt his timing.
Urban Meyer says for a young team, there is nothing worse than easy. This is not easy. Cox out of the shotgun, gives it to Tate. Out to the 9, gives him a little space to kick the ball away, and that's about it. And a standing ovation for the Gator defense. Momentum is such a huge part of college football. Florida gained some right there. Unbelievably, if they get the ball here on the punt, this would only be their 4th possession of the entire game. Shoemaker to kick to James. It's a great bounce after a low kick, but James had no chance to get up there and give it a return. 47-yard kick. They'll start from the 44.
Well, the first half, Auburn's defense was outstanding. I mean, they played great in space. They did not miss tackles. They didn't give up big plays in the running game or in the passing game. And their speed was the equal to Florida's speed on offense. But it was really their ability to tackle and not give up big plays that was the big key. Can they keep that up in the second half and maintain the edge that they had in that first half? That's the question now.
Todd, even with a 2-2 record, they were only giving up slightly over 300 yards a game, so their defense has been pretty good. Tebow, Harvin to the through.
There's the big play. No big plays in the first half, over 20 yards. First play out of the box in the third quarter. They go for 52. Play action. It's double coverage. There's a safety there to help the corner, and Percy Harvin runs right past the corner and the safety for the big play. And for Tim Tebow, that's his 8th pass of the season of 40 yards or better. They only had 2 all of last season.
First time Patrick Lee has been burned. First and goal. Tebow trying to do it himself. Hitting the backfield and dump back at the 6. What a play by Senderick Marks. How did he get in there so fast?
Quick off the ball, shot through a gap. Last year when Auburn played Florida, Tim Tebow was the quarterback who came off the bench, and he ran in for a touchdown in the first half. He was kind of a novelty last year when these two teams play. Well, now he's a starting quarterback, and they know, especially in the red zone, the quarterback run is a real weapon in the red zone, and Auburn is clued into it right here.
Harvin goes into the slot as they have 4 wide receivers. Tebow throws for Ingram, no good.
Nice
Good
job
defense by Wilhite.
Yeah, Wilhite is not nearly as big. 5'11" corner going against the bigger Cornelius Ingram, 6'4". Wilhite just got back last week from an injury. Sat out the Mississippi State game. Had 2 interceptions last week against New Mexico State. And he was in perfect position against a bigger receiver that time.
3rd and goal. Well, you get the feeling Gators need a touchdown, not a field goal down here, don't you?
Get that feeling. Harvin's in the slot.
Tebow looks away from him, under pressure again. Down he goes, throws before he hit the ground, and Quentin Groves had him. That is how strong Tebow is. One of the best sack masters in the country. Got him, had him in his grasp, and now there's a flag in the end zone.
Well, I don't know how you don't block Quentin Groves, though. That's a mistake by Florida. I mean, the best pass rusher is not even blocked.
No.
Quentin Groves is the most feared pass rusher on Auburn's team. He gets down a 3-point stance right here, and watch, nobody even blocks him. They got 5 linemen. They're rushing 4. Nobody even blocks him. You must block him. I mean, you might want to turn someone else loose. You don't want to turn him loose.
Well, what a gamble that was by Tebow to go ahead. I mean, I realize he's trying to make a play, but to go ahead and throw the ball in the end zone, that could have been easily picked off. And now Ehas will come in as they have to go for the field goal.
The last field goal attempt was blocked.
That was from 34.
Marks
this is
got
from
that
24. And the Gators finally get on the board with 11:58 to go in the third quarter. Not what they wanted, but the score was set up by a 52-yard bomb from Tebow to Harvin. Guess what's coming up? Todd's Taste of the Town. When we come back, we'll see what all the ballyhoo is about.
You know, HD TV and TiVo HD just belong together. Like me and Duke. I mean, why get a premium HD TV and a generic DVR? My TiVo searches for HD by show, actor, team, and downloads thousands of movies right to my TV. And Duke, he gets me other things.
Oh, he's so cute.
Good boy, Duke.
New TiVo HD. Get it now at a price worth pausing for.
Now when the saints come marching in. I went to Saints go marching in. Yes, I want to be in that number.
Visa makes it easier for NFL fans to get ready for game day. Life takes Visa.
On his first space flight aboard the shuttle Atlantis, astronaut Jim Voss awoke to a familiar refrain. The Auburn fight song was playing as NASA's wake-up call that day. While pursuing an aerospace engineering degree at Auburn, Voss had been cheered to the song as one of the top wrestlers in the SEC. Later, the veteran of 5 space flights would perform 4 mission-critical spacewalks during his exemplary career with NASA. The SEC, a story of character.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV. Mike Patrick, Tom Blackledge, Holly Rowe, glad you could join us on a beautiful Saturday night in September from Florida and Auburn, trying to spring an upset on number 4 Florida. Gators have just gotten on the board. Tristan Davis, he's number 9, track guy, the fastest man on the team, and he is back to return. He's been out with an injured toe the entire season. 5 yards deep, bobbles it, and he'll take a knee. Stop drooling. It's time for Todd's Taste of the Town.
In 1999, I was here to do a Gator game, and then Coach Steve Spurrier said, you've got to try this new restaurant called Ballyhoo's. Well, I tried it, loved it, and have been coming ever since to get my version of surf and turf. Steak quesadillas and a beautiful piece of fresh Florida grouper with a nice side order of black beans and rice.
See the size of that meal? This guy can eat. Boy, I'm telling you. My partner can put it away.
I enjoy myself. No question about that.
Well, what great service to that place, too.
Great place.
And we'll have a little more here in a second. Marker's down, and it looks like they're going to make him kick it again.
You mentioned Tristan Davis back, coming off that toe injury. Tommy Tuberville was very excited to get him back involved because he brings an element of speed that he can be a difference maker, both as a kick returner and also he'll get a few plays possibly at the tailback position.
Yeah, they were hoping to get him maybe 10 carries tonight as one of 3 tailbacks, but we have not seen him in that spot. Now they'll move it all the way back to the 25-yard line for Ehas. And Davis should have a pretty good shot at this one, although Ehas crushed the last one. It's an early Gator chunk. Davis on the bounce. Out to the 30. Let's see how Todd finishes that meal off.
Wow, what another great meal. While no visit to Gainesville is complete without a stop at Ballyhoo's, no meal is properly topped off here without Bananas Foster prepared tableside.
Three ums and 3 laughs. That's pretty good.
3 ums. That's big time when you get 3 of them.
All right, here's what we've done so far: the cheeseburger steak, the sticky buns, barbecued ribs, wings and ribs, Bananas Foster. The main ingredients here are gravy, grease, sugar, and sauce from my health-conscious partner. But I tell you what, you know where to eat and how to eat too. And Davis, with that sore toe, looks like he might be finished for the evening as they have to help him to the sideline.
Crowd back in it just like last possession for this Gator defense.
Cox has another one batted down. That was almost picked off by Joe Hayden, the corner.
It was a corner blitz, and Brandon Cox knew it was coming and tried to throw into the void that was left there by Joe Hayden, but Joe Hayden just timed his jump. He's coming on the blitz, and instead of coming to the quarterback, he goes ahead and jumps and almost comes down with an interception.
That would have been a game changer right there. Hayden, another young man, a freshman, third on the team in tackles, and a young secondary. Cox, quick look again. Hayden breaks that one up with Smith. Let's check in with Scott Van Pelt.
Mike, each week we honor the ESPN All-American of the Week. You can text your vote to 87654. Simply do that from your AT&T wireless phone to vote. It's easy, and in doing so, you'll qualify for a chance to go to the national championship game. Tell Todd if he comes here, by the way, I'll be happy to give him a taste of the cafeteria.
Todd, you up for that one?
Yeah, I'll go. That food up there is pretty good.
It's not bad.
Really good.
Cox on 3rd and 10. The crowd really going nuts now. And the defensive pressure is coming for the Gators. Ryan Stamper, the left linebacker, came through and got the sack.
The other thing crowd noise does it makes it tough to hear signals. It also makes it tough for those linemen to communicate on any kind of twist or stunt by the rushing linemen. Florida cranking it up a little bit here in the third quarter.
Shoemaker, who is averaging over 47 yards a kick this year, to punt to James, who's telling everybody to get away, and a great bounce for the Auburn Tigers. That will carry all the way inside the 25-yard line. A boomer that goes for 54 yards. Tomorrow, the third race in the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup with Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Tony Stewart leading the way. Time to separate the contenders from the pretenders. Catch all the championship drama at Kansas. Our coverage starts at 1 Eastern with a NASCAR countdown tomorrow on ABC. 5 drivers within 18 points. That's 18 points out of some 5,000 apiece. Jeff Gordon is the first in the standings. One of the highlights of watching racing is you'll get to see the great Dr. Jerry Punch, who just loves NASCAR.
Loves college football, too.
Yes, he does. Tebow threw that one up for grabs. And it's picked off. Patrick Lee fielded it like a punt. Tebow did not carry off much of a fake. It looked like he was trying to kneel down.
Well, the fake was okay, but what wasn't okay was a miscommunication between Riley Cooper, the wide receiver. He's going to come in. Tebow's going to throw the ball out. Watch. There's a miscommunication by quarterback and wide receiver. Play fake. Now, when the receiver comes in, Tebow launches it out to the sideline, and Riley Cooper's nowhere near the football. So obviously some mix-up. Riley Cooper's been battling an ankle injury, hasn't practiced as much, and a misfire between Tim Tebow and Riley Cooper.
Trying to go for the home run, and it costs them. Auburn has it back at the 34. Fannin in at tailback. Breaks one tackle and spun down at the 40. Ball comes out, but I think it was after the tackle. He was ripped by Tony Joyner, who is the leader of this club on defense.
I think Carl Stewart came up with the football. Fannin has had a problem fumbling. 3 fumbles on the season. He had 2 on consecutive carries in the game against South Florida, then fumbled again against Mississippi State. Part of the problem, and I think the ball did come out, but Carl Stewart, I think, recovered it, or it went out of bounds first. Now you see a couple of Auburn Tigers here to cover the football.
Fannin again with a lead block. Big hole up the middle. And man, is he crushed. Carl Stewart threw him a great block, and Major Wright, number 21, another true freshman who just won a job at the free safety. Boy, did he turn the momentum around.
Well, there's Stewart's block on spikes, a head-to-head Clinton. Then you see Major Wright, true freshman out of Miramar, Florida. St. Thomas Aquinas High School is just a guy that has beaten out a senior. Kyle Jackson was the senior. Major Wright just has played better and earned the start again tonight.
Oh, what a whack. Fannon's back in. A.J. Jones made a tackle. Go back to that last hit and watch the true freshman come up. He's number 21. Now you're talking about a guy, a running back with a full head of steam, and all at once, he's not going forward anymore. He's going straight backward.
Well, that's great form tackling, too. Head on the numbers, wrap the arms, drive the legs. The only bad news for Florida is it happened about 15 yards down the field.
Second and slightly over 10. Cox, another short set. Down the sideline. Is it inbounds? It is. At the Florida 31-yard line. Caught by Rodriguez-Smith for 17 yards. The official said he had it. Let's look.
Well, you only need 1 foot in bounds. Makes the catch. Does he get a foot in? Wow. It looks like he got that right foot in.
Well, what great body control.
You know, and he's got black shoes and black tape, and there's a white sideline. It's pretty easy to see for the official there. Yeah, that's a good catch.
Well, what great control to find a way to get his foot in there. Here's Fannin again. And all at once, Auburn has taken the momentum right back from the Florida Gators.
Well, first their defense held Florida to a field goal. Then they get the ball and they start pounding it again. This young offensive line controlling the action up front like they did in the first half. Protection for Brandon Cox and running room for Mario Fannin and Ben Tate. Mostly Fannin on this drive.
You wonder how good this offensive line is going to be when they get some experience. Fannin again. Getting a little help on a push from behind this time to take it down to the 5-yard line. It will be first and goal. Lee Zimba couldn't get in front of him, so he got behind him.
Mario Fannin was an all-purpose quarterback in high school. He wasn't a running back in high school. He was a do-everything quarterback. And part of his fumble problems early in the season has been because he was used to carrying the ball looser as a quarterback. He's gotten better at it the last couple weeks, and he's running with some strength tonight.
First and goal, Tate. No chance. Buried in the backfield. They'll mark it back near the 9-yard line. Javier Estupinan was the first guy through there to make contact.
The other thing you have to remember about Auburn, not only the young offensive line, how good will they be? They get Tristan Davis back a little bit tonight. They get their best tailback, Brad Lester, back next week when they go to play Vanderbilt, because Brad Lester has been on a 6-game academic suspension. He was their second leading rusher last year and was expected to be the go-to guy this year.
Now the freshman quarterback, Cody Burns, is in, and Burns couldn't find anywhere to go. Here are the numbers Lester put up a year ago, 5 yards a carry. He'll come back next week. That will give them, if Tristan Davis is still ready to go, 4 experienced guys in that tailback spot. Clock running. We approach 7 minutes in the third quarter. Third and goal. They're all the way back to the 14-yard line. And Cox comes back in the game. 4-man rush. Cox flushed out of the pocket, throws underneath. Inside the 10, Stewart couldn't come up with it, tried to make the shoot top catch. And you would assume they will go for the field goal to make it a 2-score game again.
Brandon Cox did a nice job of getting away from pressure, moving outside the pocket, just nowhere to go with the football. Good coverage in the end zone by Florida to force the field goal attempt.
And sometimes you see in that situation the guy trying to do too much, as he had been doing in recent games. Try to go for the end zone. He didn't do it. He didn't make the big mistake. Bynum will try a 30-yard field goal. Would make it a 14-point game again. And he got it through just inside the left upright. So Brandon Cox and the Auburn Tigers have an answer to Florida, and Tim Tebow trying to figure out what happened on that interception.
The The chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup is on ABC tomorrow at 1 Eastern.
If you had it, you'd flaunt it too. The 2007 Nissan Altima. J.D. Power's most appealing midsize car. Offers an optional rear view monitor and gets 35 miles per gallon. Lease the Nissan Altima for $219 a month. On display at your Nissan dealer now.
At GE, we're combining imagination with advanced technology around the world to make it a better place to live for everyone. GE, imagination at work.
It's Endless Shrimp, the only time of year to enjoy all the irresistible shrimp you can eat. All of your favorites are back, plus new buffalo shrimp. It's Endless Shrimp for a short time at Red Lobster. Come see what's fresh today.
Home. It's different things to different people. Whatever it means to you, you'll find it on our homepage, Century21.com. Century 21, the gold standard.
Comfortable in jeans out of tub. Not comfortable in Wrangler.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Satisfaction guaranteed. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world, and GE, imagination at work.
What a ball game this has been so far. A little nightlife on campus. Maybe dulled a little bit tonight. Down 17-3, the number 4 team in the nation. It's an 18-game home win streak. That's on the line right now. Brandon James can change the momentum of the game very quickly. And he retreats a yard deep in the end zone. He'll bring it up. James breaks the tackle, still on his feet. 35-yard line. What an effort. Take a look at our ESPNU All-State Standings review. Speaking of standing, who's left standing?
Yeah, I don't know if we had a name for this weekend, but it might be Bushwhack Saturday because a whole lot of folks got upset. Oklahoma went down. Florida struggling here. West Virginia lost. Texas lost. Rutgers lost.
And USC's only up by 3. Yikes.
Wisconsin and Cal both with close wins.
6 of the top 13 have gone down so far. Florida is trailing. Tebow loses the snap, picks it up and races forward to the 41. Here's Scott Van Pelt. Scott?
Mike, thanks very much. Just a look around the games on the family of networks, your primetime pulse over on ESPN2. Not sure what to make of those Minnesota jerseys, but Ohio State in control, winning. Not overly impressive, but up by 16. Obviously, the game you're watching on ESPN, Auburn in control, up 14. USC on the road, only a 3-point lead. Washington hanging in, hanging in. We'll be keeping our eyes and updating these as conditions warrant. Back to you in Gainesville.
All right, Scott. And they were talking about LSU looking ahead to its matchup with Florida next week. This afternoon when they played Tulane. This is Harvin and can't get away, taking down 2 yards shy of a first down. I don't think you could say that Florida is probably looking ahead, not against Auburn, but if they were, they picked a bad time to do it.
Yeah, I don't think they were either because they did not play particularly well last week. Auburn beat them last year. It was the only team to beat them on their way to a national championship. So I really don't think they were looking past Auburn. And Auburn, again, we had documented one of the best road teams over the last 3 or 4 years in the SEC.
Tebow playing quarterback draw, trying to get to the 45. He did not make it for the first down.
I am very impressed with this Auburn defense tonight. Inside the tackles, I've hold their own. Pat Sims and Josh Thompson that time just closed that hole completely.
Yes, sir.
And then the speed outside, the play on third down, second down, tackling Percy Harvin. Tebow only 24 yards rushing on 9 carries. That's less than 3 yards a carry for him.
Too early for the Gators to go for it at midfield. Maybe. Now they go to the quick formation. They're going to snap it. They are going to go for it. They got a first down, and Urban Meyer is one of the great trick play callers in college football, but there is a penalty marker down. Could have been motion. If so, it will come back. That's what you can do out of that spread kick formation. You can do all sorts of stuff.
Well, they were 4 for 4 on fake punts coming into this game. They lined up in punt. They shifted formation quickly, and now the people all have to be set for 2 seconds before the ball snapped.
And they weren't.
And they weren't.
It looked like one of the guys that was not set was the punter, Chris Henry. He went to the right side of the formation, and Henry barely got to the line of scrimmage and set before the ball was snapped. So now on 4th and 6, Henry will go back into a more conventional formation and gets off a beautiful kick. Their catch made it to 20.
And, you know, I go back to Auburn needing to win special teams. That's a mistake for Florida in the special team. Went in Auburn's favor.
Would have been a new set of downs in Auburn territory.
If you had it, you'd flaunt it too. The 2007 Nissan Altima. J.D. Power's most appealing midsize car. Offers an optional rear view monitor and gets 35 miles per gallon. Lease the Nissan Altima for $219 a month. On display at your Nissan dealer now.
That ought to do it. Hey, a little bevel action over here? Someone never returned my router, so that's got to wait. Thanks, Herbie.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
This week on Countdown, Favre has found magic in Green Bay.
More conservative, do not turn it over. He's never been conservative. All he wants to do is win.
And how the torch has been passed to this Dallas QB. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
I've always wanted to have a pool. To me, that was my dream.
If you've ever dreamed of the perfect swim, or exercise, fun with your family, or relaxation at the end of the day, order a free DVD or video to learn more about the endless pool. Your personal pool at home.
Nice and small, compact.
A regular pool, first of all, you have turns that you have to concentrate on. Here, it's endless. You're swimming in place, which is a great opportunity to be able to work on your stroke technique.
It's in your basement. Run downstairs, turn it on, you're there. It's like having a treadmill in your basement.
You know, I'll come downstairs and there'll be sometimes 7 or 8 kids in the pool, and they're always grabbing onto the bar, cranking it all the way up.
Indoors or outside.
Call 800-319-9705 or visit our website for a free DVD.
This was before the game. The great Wilbur Marshall being inducted into the Florida Ring of Fame. A very private person who was overcome with emotion as he received this honor before the game started. Went on to great success with the Chicago Bears. And that great 46 defense they had.
Yeah, he was a great player.
Auburn takes over at the 20. Tate straight up the middle. Gaping hole. Tate fumbles. That's the break the Gators needed. It was a 19-yard gain until Major Wright shook it loose. His second enormous hit, and Tony Joyner fell on it.
It was the same kind of thing. It started with Carl Stewart getting a great block on the middle linebacker, Brandon Spikes, a big run by Tate, and then a big hit on the back end by Major Wright. There it is, right helmet on the football after a long gain. Scramble for it, and the Gators come up with it.
Mistakes have killed the Auburn Tigers. As we told you at the beginning, they felt they should be 4-0, but turnovers have buried them.
Well, they had 5 against South Florida and 5 more against Mississippi State. That was their first tonight.
What can Tebow do with the opportunity from the 38? Under pressure, throws underneath. They'll get 9 on the completion to Cornelius Ingram.
I think they got to find, Florida needs to find the best matchup for them. They haven't been able to find the most advantageous matchup. It might be Cornelius Ingram and his big body working on crossing routes, drag routes across the middle. Harvin, they hit on the one big play. Bubba Caldwell started in the game but has not been a factor.
2nd and 1, 5 wideouts. Tebow, chance to take off. Got the first down and more. Inside the 20, inside the 15. Rose would make the tackle.
Well, if you're going to go after Tim Tebow, you better go low. Don't try to tackle him high. And the first defender tries to get him high, gets stiff-armed, and Tim Tebow adds about 10 more yards to the run. You better go for his ankles and take his legs out if you want to make a tackle in the open field.
He's fast enough, but he is so big that you better form tackle him correctly.
And he is not going to shy away from any kind of contact. I mean, he is going to put his shoulder down and try to run through you.
Stepped out of bounds at the 19. First down. Gators down by 2 touchdowns. Tebow short set, can't find anybody. Here comes the pressure. Throws underneath to his halfback Moore, and Moore will get maybe 2. Powers made the tackle, the corner.
Well, can Florida capitalize on the turnover from their defense? That's the question now for them. They get the gift from their defense. They've got the field position. They've been the best team in the SEC when they get in the red zone. 26 opportunities, 21 touchdowns coming into the game tonight. They need a touchdown here.
That's a remarkable number as well. Tebow, after the play fake, will keep it. And again, the center of that Auburn defense has been stout all night long, Todd.
There's been no inside running room for Florida. And the most experienced of the Florida offensive linemen are their center and left guard. Jim Tart, the guard, Drew Miller, the center. That's their most experienced guys up front. But they have not been able to get much of a push on the inside tackles of Auburn.
Blanc and Evans combined on that last stop. 8 of his 11 runs tonight have been less than 3 yards for Tim Tebow. Pressure coming. Tebow throws over the middle. That will be a first down and goal at the 5. Good throw by Tebow, and the little guy, Percy Harvin, found himself open at the 5. If you have joined us late, Auburn has led from the get-go, trying to knock off number 4 Florida on a weekend where they have just fallen like raindrops. But the Gators fighting their way back here in the closing moments of the third quarter. First and goal. Tebow stood him up and knocked him down as he reached the 4, gain of a yard.
Percy Harvin made that big catch to get the first down. You know, he had 11 catches last week against Ole Miss, and 7 of the 13 first downs they got throwing the football went to Percy Harvin. And tonight, 5 catches for 93 yards. I mean, he is, especially with Caldwell not 100%, he is the most dynamic player they have. The most, outside of Tim Tebow, it's Percy Harvin. Now, when Caldwell's healthy, it's Harvin, Caldwell, and Tebow.
5 wideouts and an empty backfield for Tebow. Here comes Moore back with him, and then he goes out in the flat. Tebow throws too hard and too low for Hardman, or excuse me, for Ingram. A flag comes in late, and it was Gerard Powers with the coverage.
Now, this one looks a little iffy. I mean, it's a big receiver Gerard Powers is going against.
The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
I'm not sure if this ball could have been caught by Ingram. It was low and hard. Here goes Ingram into the end zone. Tough call against Gerard Powers.
There was contact early. I don't know if there was a human being on earth that could have caught that ball. That thing had some starch on it. First and goal at the 2. New set of downs. Tebow to try it again. Got ever so close and then pushed back inside the 1. Urban Meyer checking the clock. Will they get off another play, or are they just going to let it run down?
Trey Blackman in on that tackle. He's a guy that is a difference maker for them defensively. Number 10 hasn't been able to play the whole game, just back from an ankle injury that he injured in the South Florida game. But when he's in the game, he makes a difference. Didn't get in again.
They blow it dead inside the 1.
It's up front. It's those tackles are holding their ground. They're not getting them pushed out of there.
No, that Florida line hadn't been able to move those guys.
They haven't. I'm sure Tim Tebow's saying, what's going on here? I've never been stopped when I need 1 yard before.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Gators knocking on the door, and they need to get in with 1 quarter to go.
The Patriots battle the Bengals at 8:30 on ESPN Monday Night Football.
Fall in love with melty cheese. Taco Bell's new Cheesy Beefy Melt. To get seasoned beef, cool sour cream, melty, and even more glorious melty cheese, think outside the bun.
With 2 million vehicle listings on Cars.com, you can find the right car for you. That's it. Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
What about last quarter? Sales? Yeah. 4.6 million. Is that gross or net? That was net. I bet you get a nice bonus. So it's good. Again, that's very impressive. We're hoping for 20%. You know what? Those numbers are very different.
Hey, get off my car. Thank you. Can I get you anything else?
Oh, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Get free one-on-one financial guidance at every Citibank branch. Personalized to help you turn your dreams into realities. Come to Citi and let's get it done.
If you had it, you'd flaunt it too. The 2007 Nissan Altima. J.D. Power's most appealing midsize car. Offers an optional rear view monitor and gets 35 miles per gallon. Lease the Nissan Altima for $219 a month. On display at your Nissan dealer now.
Hi.
Either she goes or I go.
Get rid of my dog. I've had Maxie for 8 years. I can't just abandon her. But that girl's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Only you can choose what is right for you.
Beck's Choices make it the #1 German export beer.
Welcome back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Inns. Florida Gators, 3rd and goal inside the 1.
They've got two big fullbacks in there. In fact, one of them on his left of Tebow is a linebacker, and he moved early.
He sure did, and he had some company. Looked like two guys on the line moved, as well as the linebacker, Jamal Devereaux. So instead of 3rd and goal from 2 feet away, they'll back him up 5 yards. That's huge.
Urban Meyer talked about the penalties last week. 14 for 127 yards.
False start. 63 on offense. Penalty 5 yards. Down remains 3rd.
And that was 63. Jim Tart, one of their leaders up front, who moved early.
And it's not just the yards of the penalties. Penalties last week cost them big plays.
And they're mental mistakes. This is at home. You shouldn't have a false start. That's unacceptable on the 1 yard line to have a false start by one of your leaders on the offensive line. Can't happen.
3rd and goal, huge play here. The spread is 2 touchdowns. Tebow under pressure, throws for the end zone, touchdown Ingram. Cornelius Ingram, open and drilled by Tebow.
Auburn took a chance to come after Tim Tebow and play straight man, thinking that they could get to Tebow before he could make the throw. The gamble did not work.
And they were playing without Quentin Groves, their best pass rusher, who had to be assisted off the field after the last part of the goal line stand. There's Quentin. Looked like he had some kind of a right leg injury, either an ankle or a knee. And now he's up. Now they got him a set of crutches.
Here's Cornelius. He's just going to run an out route into the end zone. Single coverage, working against number 4, Zach Etheridge. They don't get to Tebow in time. He has a throwing lane, and he delivers a strike for the touchdown. It was a shotgun, so he's off the line. He moved a little bit towards the throw and gets it away before the pressure could get to it.
And Holly has an update on Quentin Groves. Holly?
Guys, it doesn't look good right now. He was in so much pain, they couldn't even unlace his shoe on his right foot. They had to cut it off. It is a right foot injury. They're taking him into the locker room immediately. Every time they would touch one of his outer toes on the top of his right foot, he would just freak out, guys. He is in a lot of pain. It does not look good right now for Quentin Groves.
Boy, he's the leader on that defensive line, their best pass rusher, only 1 sack away from the school record.
Well, we looked on that play. I mean, he slanted down and got knocked into the pile on the run by Tebow. We couldn't see exactly what happened, but there were a lot of bodies in there falling around him, and that would be a huge loss for the Auburn defense.
14:56 to go in the ball game. And the Gators back within a touchdown on a weekend when so many teams in the top 20 have fallen. And Patrick Lee will be the deep man for Auburn. Ehas was a tremendous kicking leg as it teed up at the 30. Tristan Davis, we understand, has a foot injury. Don't know if it's the same one he had before where they had to put a pin in his toe. Lee. Nice cutback, hard run over the 30 to the 33-yard line. Monday, 2 of the top offensive units in the AFC go against each other as the Patriots take on the disappointing Bengals. Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 with Monday Night Countdown. Bengals were looking forward to a big year. They've had on-the-field troubles and off-the-field troubles.
Former Auburn Tiger Rudy Johnson is a little questionable for that game Monday as well.
Fannin got maybe a yard, and that's it. Here's Scott Van Pelt.
Mike, thanks. A quick 30 at 30 update. Some of the other things going on in the world of sports. They played 161 games in the National League East, and they've decided nothing. The Mets win. The Phillies lose, which means that they head into the final day all tied up in the National League East. There are about a zillion playoff scenarios just to make the playoffs. We'll sort those out later. And Kevin Eberhardt, he's kicked 2 game-winning field goals this year, one to knock off Colorado State, and that one right there beats Oklahoma at the gun, starting a day of upsets. Back to you in Gainesville.
Scott, it has been an amazing day. Here is Smith with another big catch on a perfect throw from Brandon Cox. And Smith shaken.
Florida lined up and looked like they used to look all the time last year. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, press man-to-man coverage by the corners and a deep free safety in the middle. And Brandon Cox, again, able to throw on timing, the accurate throw to Rod Smith. I think he just landed on the football.
He did.
You know, when he got hit at the end of the play. Yeah.
And that football, there's not a whole lot of give in that. But he'll be all right. Let's go back to Holly.
Well, guys, Rodriguez-Smith is an amazing story. He was not recruited by anybody, really. He had just 2 Division I-A offers. But his best friend from high school, James Swinton, got a scholarship at Auburn, so he decided to join him and walk on. He had 30 catches last year. He was so good, their leading receiver. He just got a scholarship this June, and again, is a key receiver for them, guys. He's even starting in front of James Swinton now.
And Holly, he came into this game averaging 23 yards a catch. He's been huge tonight with 6 grabs. Fannin. And the Gators getting more aggressive on defense, Todd, as you mentioned, and that's made a big difference for them.
Well, they've done a little bit better job here against the run, the last possession or so, and a little bit more pressure. I think their idea was, you know, the first half, we played a little too soft. We were giving too much room. We were letting Brandon Cox get in rhythm. And we've got to attack a little bit more. We got to come after him, and we got to get more guys around the line of scrimmage. If we have to play man, then we have to play more man.
Charlie Strong can coach defense, can't he?
Yes, he can.
Cox another short set. Smith back in the ball game. Dives across midfield. He'd be about 3 yards shy of a first down.
See, that's just such a smart play right there. A good call by Al Bohr, just a short slant. Probably not going to get the first down. You know that. But you get 8 or 9 on second down. Now you have a manageable third down play. You don't take a shot at a big play on 2nd and 15. You go ahead and take a short throw. Give yourself a chance on third down.
And taking a shot at the big plays is what had gotten him in trouble in previous games.
That's right.
Big third down here for momentum. Cox. Smith again. Cracked out of bounds at the 44, but he's got the first down.
And there it is. See, because you get 8 or 9 on second down, now you can throw quick and throw a short route on third down and pick up the first down and move the chains. Coming into tonight's game, Auburn was last in the SEC in third down. Brandon Cox was 11 for 34 throwing the football on third down before tonight's game. And it's been a big turnaround. Their effectiveness on third down tonight has been a real turnaround from their first 4 ball games.
Smith with 8 catches for 92 yards. He took another blast there and gets a breather. Cox wants to change the play as he saw a blitz coming.
He's only got 3 seconds left on the clock.
Got the snap. Fannin trying to get outside. Good tackle by Cunningham. Here's Scott again.
Your lazy boy update, which seems entirely apropos, as many of you are probably splayed out all day, been watching football. You saw John David Booty hit Big Fred Davis, who plows it down, and then Coach Carroll plays spin the wheel, and which back gets to carry it? Hey, Chauncey Washington, it's your lucky day. You get to carry it into the end zone. USC stretching it out in Seattle. They lead by 10.
Auburn has reached the Gator 45-yard line. Cox wants a screen, gets a lot of pressure, throws it away. He got outside the tackle box.
Well, and he threw it at the feet of the wide receiver, which you tell a quarterback to do. If you're running a screen and it's not there, throw it at his feet.
Crowd doesn't like it, but it appeared to be the right call.
And I think because the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, as you do on a screen, the lineman downfield is not a penalty either.
So 3rd and 11. The clock stops at the 11:37 mark. The crowd's really been into it in the second half, and they're up in press coverage in the secondary again. Cox under pressure, throws incomplete. That time he was trying to get it to Montez Billings.
And again, a more aggressive approach by Charlie Strong and Greg Madison. They brought an extra rusher that time. one unblocked guy, and that forced Brandon Cox to have to get rid of the football a little bit sooner than he wanted to. A.J. Jones, number 16, was the guy in this face, forced the quick throw, and now ultimately forces Auburn to punt the football.
James says let it go.
There is a flag down.
A little pushing and shoving after the play. Flag back around midfield after a punt of 36 yards. They mark it out of bounds at the 9. And let's see what the call is.
I think you make him kick it again rather than take the ball in the 9. See if you can get a little better return, better field position. Maybe he kicks it into the end zone. You start on the 20.
And James is a danger to take it the length of the field anytime.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage on the kicking team. The penalty will be enforced on the kick. So therefore it'll be 4th down, 5 yards further back.
In the Tennessee game, the first punt of that game, he went 83 yards for a touchdown to start the scoring in what ended up being a 59-20 Gator victory here in Gainesville.
That's why he's number 1 in the SEC in punt return. Beautiful kick. Signals fair catch and makes it at the 11. So they pick up a couple of yards on the penalty. But with 11:08 to go in the game, they're a long, long way away from tying this one up.
Here at the Schick Shave Lab, we have been testing the Schick Quattro Titanium in simulated social environments to see if it really is of the hizzy.
3, 2, 1.
Of the hizzy, indeed.
Schick Quattro Titanium stays sharp to give you a close, smooth shave with less irritation than the leading brand. It's the only razor with 4 advanced blades made with titanium.
Schick Quattro Titanium. The power of 4 meets titanium. And introducing new Schick Quattro disposables.
Let's check out who's my little brother's faves. It's all animals, dude. A horse, a chicken, a turtle, some like a giraffe. Look, he's a giraffe too. Which one of you loses the pig?
Who's in your faves? With my faves, each family member gets unlimited calls to any 5 people. And that's to any number, even landlines. T-Mobile, stick together.
Here's my dream for this great land. Comfort for all in tanks and sweatpants. A world without labels would set us free. No ties or heels from sea to shining sea. This is how I live. This is how I'm real. This is how I love. This is how I feel.
Sometimes when you're together, you just can't stand the idea of being apart. Because when you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
Now through October 1st, get a 2008 Jetta 2.5-liter S for just $197 per month.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 22, George Gipp. Long considered the best player ever coached by Newt Rockne, the Gipper held Notre Dame's career rushing record for more than 50 years. And as a defensive player, he never had a pass completed against him. IBM, getting it done.
George Gipp, the man of legend at Notre Dame. He's number 22. We will unveil one player every Saturday until we get to January 1st and unveil the top 2 players in the history of college football.
Florida took a timeout from the sideline. That was not called by Tim Tebow. It was called by Urban Meyer in the Florida sideline.
First of their 3. And this is the list so far of the 25 greatest players. Johnny Rodgers unveiled earlier today. Paul Griego, our buddy from Omaha, Nebraska, was Johnny Rodgers' high school quarterback before he went to Nebraska. And George Gipp, one of the great players in the annals of the most famous college football program in the country. He was their first All-American. Had a record of 23-2-2 when he was at Notre Dame. Held the Irish record forever until 1978, and was the stuff of legend in the movies. Holly, why did we have that timeout?
Well, guys, Riley Cooper, the wide receiver, just stopped off after kind of getting chewed out after that timeout. They've had some problems with their wide receiver personnel grouping. They called 2 timeouts in the first half to straighten it out. Another one there. They were worried it would be probably for the game, and guys, it has been.
All right, Holly, thanks. Here's Tebow. Quarterback draw, and you might see a lot of this now. It might just be Tim Tebow saying, it's on my shoulders, guys. Let's go get them.
Well, that's what he did last week. Yep. When they needed to win the football game. Now, they had a lead that evaporated last week in Oxford, and it was down to 3 points at one point. And Tim Tebow was very vocal, very animated on the sideline to Urban Meyer and the coaches saying, let me run the football. Let us win the football game. I'll win it. Well, he's probably got those same feelings right now. He wants the ball in his hands.
48 yards rushing. Very un-Tebow-like. He's got to credit that Auburn defense. Harvin taken down at the 24. There's a solid tackle by Gerard Powers, who takes down Harvin by the ankles. You mentioned earlier they've made great tackles in the open field.
They've been clued into Percy Harvin. I mean, they have done a nice job of getting white helmets to the football and wrapping him up and just not letting him, with the exception of 2 pass plays, really break loose and hurt them.
Harvin and Tebow, what a pair of sophomores. Tebow in the shotgun, wants a screen. Gets it out to James. James to the 32.
You were talking about Auburn and tackling, and we've talked about that all night. And we asked Will Muschamp about that. How do you tackle well in games like this when you don't work on tackling too much live in practice? Because you don't want to get guys hurt. And what they do, like most teams, is they use a thud tempo, which means they're going to go full speed. They're just not going to take guys to the ground. Because he says what you don't want to do against a guy like Percy Harvin or these Florida receivers is break down, slow down while they're still going full speed. So go full speed, keep your feet with you, and make good solid contact. And they're doing that tonight.
2nd and 3. Tebow, quarterback draw. First down. There is some determination on the face of this Florida quarterback right now. This is his time to shine.
Well, Urban Meyer, when we asked him, describe Tim Tebow for us. I mean, what stands out to you about him? And he thought about it for a second, and he said, he's the ultimate warrior. I've never been around anybody like him. He is the ultimate warrior, and he refuses to lose at anything. And for a guy that young to have that kind of presence on this team is, to me, what makes him remarkable.
And this is throwback stuff right here. This is the old single wing. Tebow throws out into the flat. That should be another first down. Lewis Murphy made that catch, and it will be out of bounds short.
The thing about Tebow, again, is he's a sophomore. But ever since he first stepped foot on this campus, he's been looked at as a leader of this football team. He wasn't the starting quarterback last year. Chris Leak was. But Tim Tebow played an integral role and was a leader on that championship team last year as a true freshman. And this year, he is hands down, unquestionably, the leader of the football team.
2nd and 1.5 yards. Tebow. Well, this is going out in the backyard, choosing up sides. Tebow is the first guy that's picked. Let's go get him.
He carried the ball 27 times last week. This is just, you're right, single wing football. You got to lead back in there. You have to account for the quarterback, and it's just power football. He's running like a fullback. He's not running like a quarterback. He's running like a fullback out of the shotgun formation.
That's because he's 235 pounds. We've got a player down. We'll check on that when we come back to Gainesville.
The chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup is on ABC tomorrow at 1 Eastern.
Home. It's different things to different people. Whatever it means to you, you'll find it on our homepage, Century21.com. Century 21, the gold standard.
I'm walking.
You get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
Now through October 1st, get a 2008 Jetta 2.5-liter S for just $197 per month.
Homeowners, has your adjustable rate mortgage gone up? Way up? Fix it at Zoom Credit. At the speed of light, get a fixed interest rate that's refreshingly low. With one application, you'll receive up to 4 offers from our network of lenders. Apply now at Zoom19.com. Go to Zoom Credit for home purchases and refinances, car loans, cash advances, consolidate your debts, and save money every month. Apply online at Zoom19.com for low-interest credit cards. Zoom Credit even has credit cards that help rebuild your credit. Everyone is approved. No matter what your credit score, go to Zoom and watch it soar. Apply online at Zoom19.com. That's Zoom19.com. Your lower interest rates, new home, new car, extra cash are just seconds away. Apply online now at Zoom19.com. Zoom Credit. People tested, credit approved.
Lenders, join the Zoom Credit Network today.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by Volkswagen. When you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
Welcome back to Florida Field. The Gators 6th in the country in scoring, averaging better than 49 points a game. They are outscoring opponents 56-7 in the 4th quarter this year. And they could sure use some more of that magic right now. Tebow fakes, goes deep. Harvin. Wow! Caught it. What a catch! And during the timeout, Todd Blackledge said, you know what would be good to do right now? Fake a run and throw the bomb.
Well, everybody wants to hit the quarterback right now because everybody expects him to run. So they go play action. They were coming out of the timeout. They got Percy Harvin out, isolated on the outside, and that's just a great football player making a tremendous play against good coverage. I mean, you can't fault Patrick Lee for where he was. That's just Percy Harvin being a spectacular player.
They go on a quick count, get down short of the 1-yard line. It will be 2nd and goal, and there comes Quentin Groves, and that's one of the reasons they have been able to run so well in the last couple of possessions, is because that guy hasn't been in the lineup. Tebow gets the play from the sideline. They've got that jumbo package in there again with 2 big blockers, including a linebacker in front of him. This is usually nothing fancy, just smash mouth. And Tebow takes off straight ahead. Touchdown. So the Gators fell behind 17-3. They're within an extra point of tying the game.
They took both of the lead backs and put them in the hole together right in front of Tim Tebow. And he just got right in behind him and ran it in for the touchdown. Couple tough runs, a big-time throw, and Florida about to draw even.
Tebow wasn't bad on that drive. 48 yards passing, 35 yards rushing, and the touchdown.
Well, they're going to go right through here. snap it to him, get in on the hip pocket, and split them right through for the touchdown. And then you see the passion and the energy and that desire to win that Tim Tebow brings to this football team.
And he went right over to the defense and said, all right, you guys, it's your turn. You stop and give us the ball back. We'll win this game.
His roommate is Tony Joyner, who is the captain of the defense, the heart and soul of the defense.
It's an upset weekend in college football. Auburn trying to pull one off here at Florida Field against the 4th-ranked Gators. And there is Tebow talking to anybody within earshot about how the Gators are going to come back. Now he wants the crowd into it, too. This kid is special. There are so many really good, on the verge of being great, multi-purpose quarterbacks in college football now. It's an exciting time to watch.
Well, what does Brandon Cox have in his tank? I mean, this is a situation for him as a senior, a guy who has started over 25 games in his career. A chance for him now to lead his team to a big win here, if he can.
Patrick Lee from the 8. Taken down at the 20. Beautiful tackle from Justin Williams. Here's Holly.
Guys, you can just feel the leadership of Tim Tebow out here, and it's not surprising. Urban Meyer told us a story about last year, their winter conditioning program. Tebow had only been on campus for a few weeks. They were doing a tug-of-war contest, offense against defense. The offense could pick one guy. Who did they pick out of everybody? The freshman who's only been with them a few days, Tim Tebow. They believed him in then, and they believe in him now.
It is remarkable how quickly he became a leader in this program. Fannin trying to get outside. Broke a tackle, but only got 2 yards. And Fannin a little slow to get up. 7 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Auburn has totally lost the momentum in this game. And you get the feeling they are just in desperate need of a couple of first downs. Stewart, the fullback for Fannin.
Press coverage look by Florida. More aggressive here in this second half. Right up on the receivers.
Fake the end around. Cox to Stewart, who was wide open.
Second time they've gotten the fullback out of the backfield. This time, the fake of the reverse bought him a little more time because they played the reverse and not the pass. Watch the fake of the reverse. Buy Brandon Cox a little bit more time. And then he finds the fullback floating out of the backfield. Again, a true freshman free safety, Major Wright, got fooled by the action in the backfield.
How's that for a play call?
Well, you said it. They need a couple first downs, and they weren't going to probably get them the conventional way. Between the crowd and the new energy of the Florida team, they had to get something a little different way.
Outside of that play, Joe Hayden appears to be the injured Gator, number 12. If they're in press coverage and they're playing more aggressively, how do you adjust as an offense to take advantage of that?
Well, you got to protect your quarterback, first of all, if they're bringing more pressure. And then wide receivers have to get separation. If you're getting press coverage, now you have to change. And it's not running timing routes as much as it is being more physical, getting off the ball, getting separation, giving your quarterback a chance.
Fannin. Nowhere to go. Broke a tackle.
Well, he's lucky.
What an effort. Yeah. Yes, he was.
He's lucky because you can't dance against a good defense. And the more he was bouncing and dancing, the worse this play was getting. And fortunately for him and for the Auburn offense, he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. But this almost was about a 2nd and 16, 2nd and 17, which would have been disastrous.
He was looking at a team picture of the Florida defense. Everybody had a crack at him. Cox in trouble. He won't get away.
Derek Harvey again. He's been relatively quiet tonight since earlier in the ball game. Got free that time.
Clock running, 5.5 minutes and counting. Well, they've made some big third downs tonight, but this is huge. 3rd and 14. Blitz coming. Cox almost had it picked. Threw it off his back foot. A.J. Jones nearly made the pick.
Well, this was such a dangerous play by Brandon Cox. Rolling to his right, a left-handed quarterback tries to throw it back across the middle. And he is very fortunate this isn't picked off. That is a no-no for any quarterback. Freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior.
May have been more than 2 no's. That might be a no.
The only guy who gets away with that is Brett Favre on occasion.
Brandon Jones, or James, excuse me, is deep. Flag is down. They're going to say they interfered with his right to make a make the catch.
Well, my only question on this, and you know, maybe I don't completely understand the rule, but if the penalty is interference to make a catch and he makes a clean catch, how did you interfere with that?
Then how do you penalize him? That's a good point.
Kick catching interference, number 33 on the kicking team, 15 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
I believe Tommy Tuberville is raising the same point, and he is really hot. He's saying he caught it. How can you throw a flag? That's not a good penalty.
I don't think so either.
We love having you here.
When you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
Professional driver on a close course.
Now through October 1st, get a 2008 Touareg 2 V6 for only $399 a month.
Cow! Good, Aaron. Cow. Cow! Yes, sweetie, cow. Cow! Paul, where are the burgers?
For breakfast, try Chick-fil-A's Tasty Chicken Biscuits, Chicken Minis, or Breakfast Burritos.
Tonight on SportsCenter, full highlights of Saturday's shocking top 10 upsets. Closer look at a must-see finish in Oregon, plus who's in, who's out in the NL playoff race. Find out on SportsCenter.
As we were going to break, this is Tommy Tuberville, who is angry beyond words at the call against his team on that interference to catch a punt. The replay seemed to show that it was not interference, especially since it's self-evident that the ball was caught. And then they hit Tuberville with a 15-yard penalty for his protest, so the Gators have it up at the 42-yard line. They throw to Harvin on a comeback screen, and Harvin grabbed apparently by the shoulder pads, spun around and taken down.
A big-time play by the Auburn defense. Tommy Tuberville's still hot. His defense trying to feed off of that right now. That's a big play on first down against an offense that has some momentum. You get him behind the chains right away on first down.
Tuberville has been tremendous with Auburn against top 10 teams. Tebow now facing a 2nd and long. And looked like he was changing the play. Little option look, and boy, they strung that play out beautifully. Moore knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Here's Scott Van Pelt.
Mike, thank you very much. USC, well, they're up 7, and John David Booty has this one batted down by Eric Lobos. Washington got the ball back. It was close to midfield, but they couldn't do anything with it, so they have now punted back. USC's got the ball on their own 15. That's over on ABC. We'll see if UW can get the ball back and get in this game a little bit closer. We'll get you back to a tie ball game in the Swamp.
Very interesting. Everybody just trying to survive this weekend. 3rd and 16 for the Gators. Auburn coming with a 3-man rush and gets pressure anyway. Wow. Nearly intercepted, a diving try by Gerard Powers. Almost made the pick, and the pressure came from tackle Pat Sims. What a stand by Auburn.
Great pressure, forced Tebow to leave the pocket, forced him to throw off balance, throw early, and nearly picked off. That was an excellent defensive stand by Auburn.
Boy, you're a defensive tackle who's been pounded on the entire game, 315 pounds, and you suck it up and make a play like that in the 4th quarter.
He's played well all night. He and Josh Thompson in there, Mike Blank, Jake Ricks, Shank.
Henry to punt to Dunn, not a good kick. And it will go out of bounds to the 38-yard line. You're absolutely right. We told you 6 out of the top 13 have lost. USC, of course, now up by a touchdown. Oklahoma lost to Colorado. Florida now tied with Auburn. West Virginia lost last night. Texas lost to Kansas State. Rutgers lost to Maryland.
How far was that punt?
Was that punt about 30 yards? 28? 25.
What a bad punt at a critical time in the football game.
Horrible time to have a bad punt. Tate trying to get outside, turns the corner for a yard and spun out of bounds hard by Spikes.
I mean,
they have tried to go wide. They can't do it anymore.
Well, I don't think Ben Tate can do it on this defense anyway. Fannin has shown a little bit of an ability to get there, but at this point, I think it's kind of a waste of energy.
And Davis is not an option. He apparently was hurt earlier in the game after one play. There's Fannin, who has played. Brad Lester won't be back until next week. Cox short set to Smith. And Smith has a first down at midfield. Boy, has he turned in a big game.
Well, they've hit this slant quite a bit. And when Florida shows 2 deep safeties, this is what they go to. 9 catches for 122 yards for Smith. They show the 2 safeties, so this is what they work. Quick throw right there in the slant, in between the corner and the safety. Brandon Cox, quick set, slip it right in there between the linebacker, the corner, and the safety, and Smith gets the first down.
You saw Wes Byram heating up the leg. Got great distance, and Auburn will use a timeout, only their first. With 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go, they need about another 17 yards to give him a shot.
Oh. You're no Rich Prince.
Sorry. Rich Prince rewards begin at 2 kisses. To qualify, eligible. Additionally, the magic spell reserves the right to lock out the primary kiss cover from any and all. Kisses expire 6 seconds from date of pucker. All kisses are non-transferable.
Is this how your Cash Rewards card treats you? Introducing No Hassle Cash Rewards. Earn cash on every purchase, everywhere, plus a 25% annual bonus.
Yeah, okay.
But you're just 1 kiss away. What's in your wallet?
Today, the wait is over.
Touchdown! I did it again!
Because today, the game plan arrives.
3 seconds left.
Welcome to the magical world of ponies.
Oh, what have we done to deserve this?
The game plan, rated PG. Plan to see it now.
Here's to men who want more time at the game and less time in the men's room. And here's to Flomax. In 1 week, Flomax may relieve male urinary symptoms due to BPH, also called an enlarged prostate. Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not prostate cancer. Common side effects of Flomax are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen. Upon standing, a sudden drop in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting. So when starting Flomax, avoid situations where injury could result. If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Could you feel a difference in 1 week? Ask your doctor about Flomax. 1 Flomax a day could make a difference in 1 week.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, we're expanding. We're going to need a lot more stuff. Let's start with servers. Okay. HP ProLiant, IBM, Sun. Oh, good. And networking. Cisco, 3Com. Wow, is there anything you guys don't have?
With over 1,000 top technology brands to choose from, in stock and ready to ship, we're there. CDW.
What do you think about getting some takeout after this?
ESPN salutes the Southeastern Conference. 75 years of excellence in collegiate athletics.
And this is another great year for SEC football. The Gators, number 4, trying to survive unranked Auburn.
How about the last 3 SEC games we've had?
Not bad. Tate, couple of yards. Belted, gang tackled.
Ben Tate needs to be careful. I mean, you want to get as much as you can get, but you better make sure you protect that football, because if you get stood up by one defender, you better expect that some other guys are coming to rip at that football. So get what you can get, but not at the expense of being careless with the football, because right now you don't want to do anything to take a chance of losing that ball.
Byram has a 49-yarder to his credit.
Florida's taking another timeout. They've got some confusion on their personnel as well.
That will be their second. Last 3 meetings, all decided on the last play of the game here at Florida Field. Damon Duval, 44-yard field goal. 2002 in overtime, Jason Campbell, now with the Redskins, comes up short. 2006, trailing by 4. Leak to Dallas Baker. Trick play on the lateral to Faison. Patrick Lee picks it up and takes it back for the score that clinched it.
I thought it was interesting, too. Pat Dooley, who writes for the Gainesville paper, wrote an interesting article in the paper today saying, you know, any of you Florida fans that were thinking that you may not come to the game tonight, this may not be as exciting, next week's the big game, you don't remember how good Florida and Auburn is as a series. And these teams, when they play, expect a good ball game. Well, we got that good ball game tonight.
In spades. 2nd and 9 for Cox. Pressure coming. Cox throws underneath, complete.
There's a good open field tackle by Major Wright. That was a corner blitz. A corner blitz. Brandon Cox read it, threw it to the void, and if Major Wright misses this tackle, they get another first down. Here's the blitz. Read it, throw it, and right there you just count on one missed tackle, but Major Wright's not letting go. And
then that true freshman got the job away from the senior.
That's right.
Play the game right here. 3rd and 3 with the clock running. Under 2 minutes to go in a tie game. They need another first down to have a shot at field goal range. And they'll give it to Tate. Cut back. Wow. Tate still on his feet and dives for a first down. What an effort.
Yep. I think they kind of fooled him up with the run. I think Florida was thinking pass. They had more of a nickel defense in. They came up the field. Derek Harvey came up in a pass rush, and they knocked him right out of the play. And Tate was able to cut up inside. Excellent block. I think it was Ryan Pugh, number 50, who got a big block on Derek Harvey, kicked him out, and that enabled Ben Tate to cut up for the first down.
I mean, he's not that big a guy, 5'11", 201, but that was a tough and a smart run Now the clock running 1:24. And Auburn has things in control. Tate again. Cut back down to the 30, to the 29. Nice block by Carl Stewart, the fullback, who has had several tonight.
You're not kidding. He's had a whale of a ball game. 2 big catches out of the backfield. A lot of big-time blocks. Here he goes, 32 leading the way. And Tate cuts right inside of his block.
53 seconds to go in the game. Florida only has 1 timeout.
Auburn with 2 timeouts.
Tate again has to hold on to the football. Didn't get a good spot on the previous run. They marked him down at the 30. It appeared he'd made the 29. This one is to the 29. The clock's still running.
Tommy Tuberville just called for a timeout. He wants a timeout here. He wants to use one of his 2. Talk over what they want to do.
Well, from here, it would be a 46, 47-yard field goal try. Byram certainly has the leg for it. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, I've been standing over here by Wes Byram just to gauge his mood and his feelings right now. He's a true freshman. He just glanced back up at the scoreboard, looked at the time and the scoreboard, and then he shook his head as if to say to himself, I got this. We'll see if he's right. We'll see if he's right.
Well, think about it now. A true freshman. He's replacing the all-time leading scorer in Auburn history in John Vaughn. And he has a chance, it looks like, he's going to have a chance to beat the Florida Gators here in the Swamp.
They had 3 terrific kickers, all of whom graduated. And now they've got 3 kickers who are either freshmen or redshirt freshmen. Byram with a long of 49 has a 47 and a 48-yard miss. And all Urban Meyer can do right now is hope. Tate very close to a first down.
Boy, I tell you what, this Auburn offensive line, we've talked about them tonight. 3 true freshmen starting for the 2nd week in a row. Last week, they were kind of running around, not sure who to block. They've known who to block tonight.
Haven't they ever?
They have known who to block, and they have done it well.
They will bring the chains in. You see the ball sitting on top of that yellow line, the computer-generated guide that we have come to rely on so much.
By a chain link.
Boy, no kidding. Now there's 21 seconds left. Auburn has 1 timeout. You try to get a little bit more here. Do you take the risk?
I think maybe you bring it a run to the left and get the ball right in the middle of the field and then call that last time out with about 4 seconds left and try to win it on the last play of the game.
Last thing they said before they break the huddle, hold on to the ball. And Tate put it right in the middle of the field.
Now you let the clock go down to about 4 and then call the timeout with 4 seconds. Or 3.
4 upsets so far in the top 10, 6 of the top 13. This would add to it. And you would have 3, 4, and 5, and 7 all losing on the same night or on the same weekend.
And so
3 seconds, they call the timeout.
And you think, big picture college football again, who stands to benefit the most? Well, one team is Ohio State. They have a chance to shoot skyward with the events of today. Of course, USC trying to hold on. LSU not overly impressive early in the game against Tulane, but held on.
And if you're LSU, you hate to see a game that is set up this monumentally to have the team you're going to play lose the week before, because then they have something to get even with against you. Byram will have a chance to win it from 43 yards. If not, we go to overtime.
Because Florida used their last timeout right before the kick here to ice the kicker. I think they're going to right now. Urban Meyer's right by the official. Nope. Yep, they did. Urban Meyer waited right before the ball was snapped and called timeout. This is not going to count. Urban Meyer called a timeout before the kick. He did it perfectly. And Tommy Tuberville's going to find out right now that they got to kick it over.
Byram put it through from 43 yards. Timing is everything, isn't it?
Urban Meyer was right in the official's ear, and he was waiting until right before the ball snapped to call timeout. Brett Bielema, yeah, Brett Bielema of Wisconsin was the guy who did that last year and kind of showed people how to do it. And Urban Meyer waited to the exact last moment and called the timeout. Now you had the energy of Auburn kicking it, thinking they won the game.
Exactly
now
right.
They've got to line up and do it again.
Coaching is a copycat profession. You see somebody do something that works, well, by golly, you're going to do it next because of that very reason. It worked. And Urban Meyer just took a lot of the starch out of Auburn. They kicked the winning field goal, and it doesn't count. Now they've got to do it again.
Mike Shanahan did it 2 weeks ago in their game against the Raiders, and Janikowski missed it the second time.
Mike knows what he's doing, too.
Yes, sir.
Can Byram make it again? How cool is Wes Byram? He made the winning field goal twice. And the fourth-ranked Gators go down at home, ending an 18-game home win streak. And is that redemption for Brandon Cox or what?
Boy, he had to get that ball up in a hurry, too, because Florida had some lift there for the block attempt. Watch how quickly this ball gets up.
In your face with the Gator chomp as he leaves the field. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Tuberville, I want to take you back to the fourth down play in the first half. You decide to go for it because you came to win. How hard was that decision?
Well, it's pretty hard. But when you go on the road, you got to take all the points you can get. This is a good football team in Florida, and we needed some kind of boost, so I just kind of took a gamble, and it worked.
What went through your mind when they called timeout after the successful first try?
Well, I saw that on TV the other day, I think, in the pros, and somebody did that, and it worked for them. But Wesley stood in there and kicked it. You know, that's what it's all about. You got to make plays when they're there.
Wes, you're a true freshman. What was going through your mind after you had to go through that again?
Just to get down there and hit the field goal. I mean, we worked hard all week to beat them, and practice was rough, but we came through, so.
Good job, freshman.
Thank you.
Guys?
Holly, what a weekend. One upset after another, and this was one of the staggering ones as well, as Auburn comes in here a 3-touchdown underdog, and they win it 20-17. SportsCenter coming up next over on ESPN News, a post-game extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night from Gainesville, Florida.
This is SportsCenter.
Another Super Saturday of college football. Top 25 teams in trouble all across the country, including a pair of stunning top 10 upsets in the Big 12. Meanwhile, 2 Pac-10 unbeatens collide in Oregon. Don't miss a ridiculous game-deciding misplay in the end zone. Plus, Padres looking to clinch, Phillies on the verge, and the Mets almost make franchise history.
Hey there, there. Yeah, you said it. Welcome to the broadcast live from the ESPN Digital Center. It's Sports Center. Steve Berthume, John Butchergross along the way. In a moment, we will set up the final day of baseball's regular season tomorrow. It should be amazing. But first, speaking of amazing.
Yeah, Auburn, Florida. Florida has won 8 of the last 10, but it was Auburn who gave Florida their only loss last season. Florida brings an 11-game win streak into the contest. Auburn looks to avoid its first 0-2 conference start since 1980. Ben Tate, handoff, and 14-0 Auburn. Third quarter, Tate through the line, but Major Wright comes in with the big hit. Ball loose, Gator football, ensuing possession. Now it's the fourth quarter, Auburn's 6-yard line. Tebow, Cornelius Ingram, 17-10. Here come the Gators. Still in the fourth, looking for the tying score. Tebow. It's a beautifully thrown ball here. Percy Harvin did get that foot down before going out of bounds. Later, Tebow with 2 blockers in front of him plows his way into the end zone. 17-17. Here comes Auburn. A long drive capped off by Wes Byram. It's good. Wait a minute. The old coach calls a timeout from the sideline just before the ball is snap moved. Now doesn't count. So Byram will try again from 43. Good. And Auburn, winner, chicken dinner at Florida. Final score 20-17 as seen on ESPN. And with the call, Mike Patrick and Todd Blackledge. And we go back to them for more. Fellas.
What else could you say? I mean, it was a great ball game. Auburn, a huge underdog, but they believed in themselves. You got to give them the credit because they talked about it all week long that if they avoided the stuff that had hurt them in the 2 losses, they had a chance to come in here and compete, and they weren't funning us either.
Well, and I think you saw some pride also in a program that had won 12 out of 13 games on the road in the SEC. They won 8 out of 9 against top 10 teams, and a senior quarterback who struggled early in the season, played well off the bench last week, played outstanding tonight on the road. Brandon Cox, I mean, you love this for a guy like Brandon Cox who has struggled in his senior year a little bit to come in here and play the way he did and to lead his team was fun to watch.
And how about the freshman kicker? You come in here, hostile territory, 88,000 people screaming their brains out. You make a winning kick, but not so fast. You didn't make the winning kick. You got to kick it again.
Yeah, Urban Meyer perfectly timed that timeout. Byram just stayed about his business, knocked it through again. And, you know, I'll tell you what, we've had 3 SEC games in a row. They've all been unbelievable down to the final seconds. And this one was maybe the best of all.
Just another lousy night in the Southeastern Conference. It was a tremendous effort by Auburn as they knock off number 4 Florida. Back to the studio, fellas.
Thanks so much, Mike and Todd. Florida is now 17-2 over the last 2 seasons. Both losses coming against Auburn. The Tigers held the Gators to 17 points in each of those wins, while Florida averaged over 35 points per game against everyone else.
A remarkable day in the Big 12 today. We started with number 3, Oklahoma, scoring nearly 61 points per game, but stuck in a tough Big 12 opener at Folsom Field in Colorado. Third quarter, here's Alan Patrick. There we go. 17 of his 96 yards, and all going according to script here. It's 24-7 Sooners, but hold on. Fourth quarter, Colorado down 14, 4th and goal. Cody Hawkins, Tyson DeVray busts down 24-17. Hawkins threw for 219 and 2 scores. Colorado attempting a 36-yard field goal to get within 4, but Kevin Eberhardt wide left, and Hawkins, you're still down 7. It's Division I football! Colorado's punt right through Reggie Smith's hands. The Buffalo's going to set up shop inside the Oklahoma 20. You can't have mistakes like that backed up against your own goal line. Late 4th on the road. 4 plays later, Hawkins, Dusty Sprague. We're tied at 24 with 4:05 to go. Sooners stuck with a 3 and out. Got a punt again. Chase McBride back there for the Buffs. And look at Chase McBride matriculate his way up the field. Almost. Gets it to the 50 and sets up this. 2 seconds left. Eberhardt from 45. This for the win. It would be his career long. 2 ticks to go. Tie game. This is it. Drills it. Buffalo's first win over a top 5 team since 2001, and it is the signature win so far for Dan Hawkins after last year's 2-10 season.
Well, Texas can't get caught looking past Kansas State with the Red River rivalry looming next week against Oklahoma. They should have added incentive after getting upset by Kansas State a year ago. Colt McCoy under pressure pickoff. Career-high 4 interceptions thrown by McCoy. Ian Campbell the other way for the score. Kansas State up 14-7. Ensuing Texas possession. McCoy comes right back. He redeems himself. Good scrambling here. Good feet. Finds Quan Cosby. Touchdown. Game tied at 14. Ensuing kickoff. Back and forth we go. James Johnson. Johnson, 85-yard kickoff return. 20-point loss by the Longhorns, the worst home loss in the 10-year Mac Brown era. Haven't lost that bad in Austin since a 66-3 loss against UCLA back in 1997. So the Big 12 gets way more interesting as both Texas and Oklahoma lose today. The last time both lost on the same day, October 2nd, 1999, which was also a week before the Red River Classic. The Horns and Sooners will meet again next week. We have many more upsets to go on a crazy Saturday in college football in this sports center.
Now to the baseball. John Maine on the mound for the Mets facing the Marlins. New York, a game back in the Fightin' Phils in the NL East with 2 to play. They had to have this one. Bottom 3, last innings. Village, he was 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. Everybody clap your hands. It's 7-0 New York. Down 8-0 in the 4th. It's Hanley Ramirez. Maine, plunk. That had hurt. Another look, Ramirez right on the left hand. It's called a foul ball. Next pitch, of course, a hit on the hand. It affects his grip. Loses the bat. He'd have to eventually leave the game. Maine with a no-hitter through 4. Trying to help the Mets back into a tie with the Phils atop the division. Remember, Mets have never had a no-hitter in their history. Bottom 5, Mets up 9-0. Some retaliation, perhaps. Harvey Garcia throws behind Luis Castillo twice, so now everybody's really on edge. C.B. Buckner, the home plate ump. Warnings issued, benches clear, but that would pretty much be it, at least to that point. Jose Reyes and Matt Lindstrom, they're just joking around. And then with Reyes on third during a Marlins pitching change, Miguel Olivo gets into it with Reyes and says, somebody says, hey, you want to fight? One of them said it. They both said the other said it, but they did have a fight. Olivo runs over there. Sandy Alomar has to step in, throws a punch. Bench is clear again. Reyes said he thought Olivo was joking when Olivo challenged him to a fight. Olivo was ejected. Reyes did stay in the game. Olivo says it was Reyes who suggested they fight. Not him, but Reyes had another version.
When I was in third base, he told me, because I look in the hand, he told me, I'm gonna throw the ball to third base and I'm gonna hit you. So I think he's kidding with me, you know, because I know him for a little bit, you know, and we always talk, you know. And after that, when he went to the mouth, you know, he said, you want to fight? And I said, yes, let's fight.
So Olivo leaves. Reyes gets to stay. Make a note of that. Top 7, Maine is yet to allow a hit. Here's Robert Andino. David Wright at third, off his leg, right to Reyes, and they get him. One more look, off of Wright's left knee and straight to Jose Reyes. The no-hitter still intact. Next up, it's Jeremy Hermida. Had the big home run earlier in this series. 13th strikeout of the game for John Maine. Next up, Alfredo Amezaga. Wright ends the inning. Maine will take his no-no into the 8th inning. Remember again, the Mets have never had a no-hitter in their history, ever. Top 8, Mike Jacobs becomes the 14th strikeout victim of John Maine. Next up, Jason Wood. And the way Met Nation has been suffering through the last week or so, you can't believe the way they were jacked up for a potential no-no here. Carlos Gomez is there, Maine 4 outs away. Next up, it's the guy who came in for Olivo when he was ejected, Paul Hoover. Right at third. He's got nothing.
No chance.
Base hit, Wright has no play. One more look, you'll see Hoover break up Maine's no-hitter. You can't fault Wright. Nothing he could do there. Maine allowed just 1 hit in 7 2/3. They were not going to get him. His 14 strikeouts, the most by a Mets pitcher in 8 years. Mets get one they had to have, 13-0. Here's the Maine man.
It's kind of do or die for us, and you got to treat it that way. And so, you know, we came out, we did what we had to do today, and we'll see what Philly's got to do.
we did what we needed to do. We got our confidence back for going into the last game of the season, and possibly a playoff, and just went out there and put a team away finally.
You go from not being able to get anybody out to not being able to score runs one day, and then the next day you guys almost throws a no-hitter. We got 15, 16 hits, so I feel good about our chances.
It doesn't really matter what the Mets do as far as the Phillies are concerned. If the Phillies win their final 2 games, they win the NL East for the first time since '93. That's the last time they've been in the postseason, the John Kruk mullet era. Top of the first, Ryan Zimmerman. You saw Adam Eaton. Big start for him, his biggest as a Philly, and didn't quite have it. Burrow has some issues. Ronnie Belliard comes around to score, so just like that, the Nats score first. 1-0 to the third. Matt Chico pitched really well for the Nats today, and here he picks off Jimmy Rollins, who didn't really have a very strong game for the Phillies. To the 7th. It's now a 2-0 game. J.C. Romero and Ryan Howard's a great hitter, but he's an awful first baseman. 12th error of the year. Another run scores. Phillies defense starts to let them down. Look, he thought he had the ball there, had a force out. He gets nothing.